Hi, it's Jay from Iridescent Tarot back with some more sparkle for you. Today is my very first monthly favorites, and I'm so excited because I've just watched so many of these as the years have rolled by. Like, these are some of my most favorite videos, and I can't believe that I'm getting to make one for the first time. Yeah, it's just like very exciting for me. So, I have a selection of books, TV shows, decks, and just a little bit of updates about my Thoth study, and then just some of the goings on with Two of Mom's Tarot that I wanted to chat about. So I'm still wearing the same nail polish as my last couple of videos. If you want details, you can check that out. And then today's perfume is Namat International Amber. This is a perfume that I smelled on somebody else and I went running after them. It's like, sometimes you see people talking about that in the fragrance community of like, oh, somebody approached me, they chased after me, they had to know what I was wearing, and other people comment and are like, that doesn't ever really happen, like, stop talking. And I am one of those people that if I smell somebody good around, I will like ask everyone in the vicinity like who's wearing what perfume because I need to know. And this was one of them. This is a very clean amber. It's not super like gritty, resinous, deep. It's like a higher level clean, not quite soapy or anything, but yeah, I really, really like this. I would rate it a 9 out of 10 if you need something that's like basic, everyday, clean smelling, people running up after you asking you what you're wearing. The first book that I read this month, and keep in mind, these are pretty much all audiobooks because I just, like, I have very limited free time. And so if I want to be able to participate in all the different things that I'm interested in, like some things have to get a little bit like, you know, we have to be flexible. So my reading has become audiobook. And so I read Mary Magdalene Revealed by Megan Watterson. And I really, really liked this. It's definitely more of information mixed in with like personal story of Megan, like exploring her relationship with Mary Magdalene and like, traveling and going on explorations in the realm of Mary Magdalene. And I thought it was really well written. It captured my attention. I was engaged for the whole book. And yeah, I just thought it was a good read if you have any interest in this kind of topic at all. So as I tend to do, I was like, let me get deeper into this rabbit hole. And I went on to the next book that is recommended when you're looking into this kind of stuff, and that is Magdalene Mystery. This book, it was like 14 hours when I downloaded it. I was like, I don't know about this. And so after like the first couple hours, I thought, you know, it's just like a little bit too history heavy. There's a lot of like different characters and people in this that I'm not like, I don't have any knowledge of them. It just goes a little bit too deep. It's too much. So I'm contemplating DNFing this. I have mentioned in my Thoth video how I have a really hard time DNFing things, and I think that this might be one that I do. I don't know, like it's no skin off my back to like let it continue playing in the car. It is taking away time from like other books that I could be reading, so I guess I probably will let this one go. And I did start Hamilton. So I just recently, for some reason, had the spark to listen to it again. And so I listened to the whole soundtrack, and then I was like, I need to know more. So I found the book that was written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I've been listening to this audiobook as well. It's not quite what I thought it would be. I didn't have like a great idea of what would be in this book. I didn't know if it would be like more detail about Hamilton's history or like the nitty gritty behind like putting the Broadway show together. And it definitely leans more towards information about like how the show came to be and parallels like the development of the Hamilton show with like how Hamilton's life was in real life. Hard to explain, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's definitely not like a super long listen, so far I can recommend. I think I have like an hour left in it. One of the things that I haven't been great about is finding a new TV show. So some of my like old favorites, things that I've watched and really liked, Ozark, Arrested Development, Severance, Schitt's Creek, White Lotus. And so recently we watched Righteous Gemstones, which was like very over the top. It's got some like pearl clutching humor in it. So if you don't like really like raunchy comedy, like stay away. But since we watched that, there's been nothing that's like really sparked our interest. We tried recently Succession and Barry, and neither of those are like really sticking. So if anybody has any good suggestions of what to watch next based on the things that I've mentioned, like I will take any ideas below. So for recent deck acquisitions and what I've been doing with my tarot practice, the Narrative Alchemy Tarot by Chrissy Bentley has been a deck that I watched via her YouTube channel, which I will link below. But basically on her channel, she would read an entry from this book of daily thoughts and prayers, and then she would pull a tarot card and then read from her guidebook. And I loved that practice. Like I watched pretty much every one that she had uploaded. And finally I was like, you know what, maybe I should just get this for myself so that I can do this practice on my own. And I've been doing just that. Many mornings I will open the book to whatever day it is. I will read through whatever's in this book. And then I will shuffle and pull one of these cards, and then I find the word in the guidebook. I read through that, and then I try to link, like, what did I learn from this passage with this passage, and take that as my message of the day. And I really, really love this practice. I think it's really juicy and sparks a lot of like deep thinking, and this has just been very enjoyable for me, and is something that I've watched like vicariously through Chrissy for so long that it just felt natural for me to incorporate this into my practice. I usually love MPC linen cardstock, but for some reason this deck is so slippery to the point where it like doesn't sit still when you put it down, and that's just been like slightly annoying, but I still wouldn't trade it for any other cardstock. Like I still love the MPC linen. I just noticed that this one is like way slipperier than any of my other MPC decks. I don't know what it is. Oh, as an aside, I pretty much made like a walkthrough of all the decks that I'm mentioning in this section. So if there's anything that you want to see in more depth, just look on my channel. They should be all there for you. With the Verdant Tarot. So this is one that I was like highly, highly anticipating since the beginning of the year. Like I'm talking months that I was like waiting and excited about this deck. And sometimes you do that and it comes and it's just like oh, okay. And like, I hate to say it, but that's what this has been so far for me. I had years of strong work with Shadowscapes Tarot, and I thought this would just be a shoe-in for like next level of that kind of energy. And I don't know if maybe it's just the season wasn't quite right for me to get this. Like, I think that opening this maybe at the beginning of spring would have been like the right time, but I've done maybe 3 readings with this deck since getting it, and it's like I have so many other things on my shelf that I'm excited about, and for some reason this just isn't calling to me. It could be the season, so I'm not writing it off at all. But yeah, I just am like a little bit surprised that it's not jumping off at me the way that I thought it would. I did edge this deck like a teal sparkly color. I think that it matches really nicely. And if I connect with this deck, I will make it a tarot bag, one of my tarot tube socks to match. But yeah, this one is like a little bit to be determined. Yeah. Discovering Beauty is another deck that I got in this month. Highly anticipated. I think that the cardstock and the imagery is beautiful. I did enjoy very much pairing this up with the Prairie Majesty Oracle. I think like the backs look so nice together, but I like the images on the fronts together as well, and the types of reading that it provides. This is a deck that Erin and I are going to be featuring in our Two of Moms Tarot series in October. So more details about this deck to come. Scarab and Dahlia. If you check out my Instagram, you'll see that this has been pretty much the main deck that I've used in September. I got this in and I just haven't put it down. It's been so insightful and a little bit like cheeky and funny, and it's a clear reader. And out of all the different collage decks that I've tried, like I've really enjoyed this one, and it pairs with so many other decks. I just can't seem to get enough of this one. The Long Way Home also came in. This is the card that I drew today. Always an apt lesson. I've pulled this a few times since receiving it. I haven't gotten to work with the full depth of the spectrum of this oracle deck, but so far what I've seen I really like. I think because ancestor work is not a huge part of my practice, this one just resonates more with me than When Olga Speaks. Although I do still really like When Olga Speaks, I just think that this one has like a little bit more versatility in my practice. She happens to go pretty well with Scarab and Dahlia, so I've been using her in that capacity and a couple of other ways. Lastly, for new deck acquisitions is Good Old Grandma. So I think her real name is Great Grandmother's Faded Frontier. And this is just such a like sweet and salty little lady. Like she adds a little, she's that TikTok that's like, let's throw in a little spice. Like, let's see what good old grandma has to say about whatever it is that we're talking about. I enjoy her attitude and her double entendre. Like, as I'm going through each of the cards, I really try to figure out like what the meaning is and then what the double entendre is, because a lot of times there is one, and that just is a testament to Lennox's genius. So been loving Gog lately. My Thoth study. So for those of you who watched my Thoth video, I'm extremely grateful because I've gotten so many helpful comments under that video of like what I could do to make this experience more enjoyable for myself. And while it seems like many people do recommend at least reading the Book of Thoth, and like, you know, the needing, for me personally, like I need Lon's point of view in order to understand the Book of Thoth as I'm reading through it. There was like an overarching theme of people being, if you're not enjoying the study, like you got to do something to kind of freshen it up and make it so that you're liking it, because it is a very long time to spend with a deck that you're not loving the connection. So what I've done to rectify my Thoth study is I've totally scrapped the watercolor renditions for now. That might be like a later project, but for right now it's not happening. And rewriting the highlights from these books, not happening. I'm just going to read through them both, highlight, and look at the cards and see what I get from them. And that, I think, works well for me. One of the comments also recommended this other YouTube creator. I will link it below, but they have a Thothtober study. And so I'm going to look into that and see if that's something that I want to either do instead or in addition to. But yeah, I'm really glad that I ended up posting my Thoth video, because I was like, I don't know if like people are going to want to watch 9 minutes of complaining about doing a Thoth study, but basically I just got a ton of helpful input and comments, and I'm really grateful for that. So thank you to anybody who watched and recommended alterations, because I took them seriously. So for Two of Moms Tarot, which if you don't know what it is, it's a two mom, me and Erin, which is at the Witch of Saturn. We started like a podcast style series where we plan to talk about many things, but the first thing that we're doing is called #deckconnectorsclub. And this is where we have kind of a structured practice where we go week by week with each of our decks that we both have, but it's an open invitation to connect with any of the decks in your collection. It's something that Afton with a Z has been also doing on her channel with just other decks that she wants to connect with more. And we are very encouraging of anybody who wants to either make video responses of their own or just like write in the comments how they're connecting with their decks. But basically we chose one deck a week for the month of September, and we've completed our first month. So the first week we worked with the Yellow House Tarot, and this was a new acquisition in both of our collections. We both really enjoyed working with her and got a lot out of this first week of Deck Connectors Club. So that was very positive and encouraging and exciting for us. So Yellow House Tarot, TLDR, she's staying. We love her. The next deck that we worked with was Oak, Ash, and Thorn. This was a deck that was new to Erin's collection, but I had for a little while now and just hadn't connected to. And surprisingly, at the end of the week, both of us decided that this is a deck that neither of us want to continue having a relationship with. So before we even filmed our Deck Connectors episode, Erin had already moved this deck on. I am not that quick. I still need to work on getting this deck out of my home. So anybody has interest in this deck, then send me an email or something, and I am working on rehoming this little love. The next deck that we worked with was the Margarete Petersen Tarot. This episode was particularly exciting because we had our first special guest, and that was Marlena Teresa, and we had so much fun connecting with our decks with her and just getting her insight because she's worked with Margarete Petersen for many years. So having two of us that hadn't had a connection with this deck yet, with, you know, chatting with somebody who has worked with her for many years, it was just a really interesting time and one of the highlights of my month here on Tarotube. The last deck that we worked with in Deck Connectors Club was the Folkoric Forest Tarot. This deck was another hands down slam dunk. Both Erin and I connected with it and love pretty much everything about this deck. I could just go on forever about all the things that I like about this deck. So if you want to hear me waxing poetic for almost an hour, you can go watch the Two of Moms Tarot episode on Folkloric Forest. We do try to keep those episodes to under an hour. That's our goal. We both have kids and ain't nobody got time for that. So yeah, that's what we do. All right, well, those were my little favorites of the month, things that I've been up to. I just want to express how grateful I am to be here. I'm so appreciative of every single person who's been around, you know, commenting, liking, subscribing, all of the things, because it's just made me feel very welcomed here, my first month of Tarotube. I have lots of ideas of things that I want to add to the conversation, so please subscribe so that you don't miss any of it. And yeah, thank you for being here. I will talk to you later. Signing out.